Get your chance through Rotary Central.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listener participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. Welcome to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Laura Young. And in the studio with us today, we have some great guests who is here to talk about education. First up will be the UCCI Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, Miss Geneive Phillip Durham. But we're going to pause, take a break, and when we come back, we will continue with more Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. And for our listeners who have just joined us, we have in the studio with us from UCCI, and I had a little tongue-tying there, the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, Miss Geneive Phillip Durham. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
And I know you're here to talk about a very critical topic regarding excellence with a global perspective on the induction of its very first ever cohort of Theta, Beta, Delta, depending on how you're pronouncing it. It could be Phi, it could be Phi,
yeah.
Beta, Delta. But before we get into that topic, I want to just start a little bit of a foundation telling us how you got involved in education. Just a little brief synopsis. I know it's not always nice to talk about yourself, but it's important for us to understand the educators that we have. And being that it's Teachers Week, we want to celebrate all those who educate our people and empower our people in the Cayman Islands. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up at UCCI.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. My background is political science. So at the undergraduate level, my first degree is in public sector management, and my postgraduate studies are all in international relations and global studies. So my PhD is actually in international relations. So I have taught at the University of the West Indies, started off there as a research assistant. My academic career started there. And prior to coming to Cayman, I was also at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, moving between teaching, research, administration. Also worked in St. Martin at the University of St. Martin, worked with the University of the Virgin Islands, and here I am. But my background is political science and international relations. So I'm a social scientist. Have taught, of course, political science, public sector management, and international relations courses. And my expertise is Caribbean international relations, policy making, working at the intersection of education. Of course, international relations is quite broad. Absolutely. So that's how I ended up in education administration, because you have the opportunity to explore subject matters from governance to sustainability to education to diversification, all of which I have done over the past few years. And now I am squarely in administration, but also having the opportunity to contribute in my areas of expertise, teaching political sciences courses, as well as public administration when the opportunity presents.
Well, I think in this society is very small and very political affluent. We're really grateful to have you here in the Cayman Islands and glad that you have chosen to come here to improve on our strong foundation that keeps continuing to improve. So there is no surprise then that you, based on your academic and your experiential background in political science and international studies, that you would ensure that this new juncture for UCCI is on its way with the new Phi Beta Delta. I know I'm going to pronounce that badly for the educators that are listening. They're probably going to say, Laura, you need to do better with that. And English is one of my favorite subjects, so it's important for us to have that pronunciation right. Well, enough about me talking and blabbling a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about how tell us about the new program that is to be inducted later this month?
Absolutely. So on the 24th of October, we will have the first ever Phi Beta Delta induction ceremony. It is a program which seeks to celebrate academic excellence, scholarship, and just development with students as well as alumni. And you may know as well, this is not typical in a Caribbean university setting. It's something that's more consistent with American or North American university settings. Coming from the University of the West Indies myself as well, we did not have these opportunities. We had immense opportunities, but the honor societies is not something that is familiar within our education setting. But it does create opportunity for students as well as alumni to broaden their network, and it is really entrenched in partnership, in collaboration, in encouraging and continuing academic excellence across the board. So not unfamiliar to UCCI, so we currently have two other honor societies, one in the Business and Finance Division, Sigma Beta Delta, and one in our PTET division for technical studies, so that is the National Technical Honor Society. So this one is specifically for students in the humanities and social sciences, current as well as former students who would have attained a GPA of 3.25 minimally, as well as we have the opportunity to have persons who are like honorary inductees who may not have necessarily attended UCCI, but some of our faculty, some partners who would have excelled in the fields of humanities and social sciences. And we definitely want to celebrate those persons as well. So our goal is to have 40 persons inducted in that ceremony on the 24th of October so that we can continue the collaboration and the partnerships that we have been. And we want to be able to do that for the next 50 years. As you know, UCCI celebrates 50 years anniversary this year. So we want to expand as much collaboration, create as much opportunity and partnership going forward.
And I celebrate this and salute you for such an esteemed process that you are putting in place. Now, I'm aware that based on some of the information that I've researched, that there's 150 chapters of this?
180.
Or 180.
Yeah.
And are we then the first Caribbean island, or are we among some others?
I am not sure for the rest of the Caribbean. I would imagine a university like the University of the Virgin Islands would have its honor society. I'm not sure if it's this particular one, but definitely among the first in the Caribbean, I would say, just because I'm familiar with the structure at a number of regional institutions, and this is just not something that traditionally that has been part of our structure regionally.
Yes, very commendable. We're going to pause, take our first break, and when we come back, we'll have more Talk Today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
It's me again, that old Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle Rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. Good afternoon to all of our listeners across Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. And in the studio with us today, we're talking with Miss Geneive, Phillip Durham, the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences. And before the break, she was giving us a brief overview of the new Phi Beta Delta program that's going to be, Honor Society for International Scholars, which is going to be the first ever cohort that's been inducted in the Cayman Islands here in UCCI on 24th of October.
That's correct.
And so we're going to continue our conversations with her. And I just want you to tell us a little bit about the Phi Beta Delta and when it was founded. Just a brief overview of that. And before we get into that, I know that most of our listeners would not necessarily, I shouldn't say most of our listeners, there will be listeners. I can't say most because we got a lot of educators, a lot of people who value education who's listening in of what Phi Beta Delta means. Exactly the acronym, love for knowledge. Can you give us a little background on that? Yeah. I put you on the spot. Well, it's a love for knowledge, and it talks about the value of human life, and really what it is. It's sort of encompassing the human social sciences, the combination
and excellence,
and the desire for excellence,
knowledge and excellence.
Yes,
which is what we ask for in education, right?
Absolutely,
and it's something that we always try to emphasize. And for me, particularly with Caribbean students, I'm very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about Caribbean development. I'm very passionate about positioning Caribbean institutions and Caribbean students to be able to contribute to excellence globally. Not just in a national or regional context, but globally. And this is an opportunity to do just that. So this was founded in 1986, and I'm really proud to say that UCCI joins more than 180 chapters globally. So that tells you the opportunity for networking that exists. And I believe it was earlier this year or late last year, even for me, as soon as we became we were notified of our status being accepted when we petitioned. I had the opportunity to present at their conference And there's also a journal. You have the opportunity for publishing. You have the opportunity for seminars, just professional development on a whole. So when I gave my presentation, I believe my presentation was about the role of artificial intelligence in the Cayman Islands and in education. And for a number of the participants, they were not aware of the Cayman Islands, about education in the Cayman Islands. So just being able to share that we do contribute to knowledge production here in the Caribbean, and we can be a part of the global movement in terms of scholarship, in terms of academics. It's always a proud moment for me to be able to share that from a national as well as regional standpoint. And I do hope that those who are inducted will become involved in publishing, attending the conferences, attending the online webinars and social engagement opportunities. But truly an opportunity to build network globally, to build community, as well as to contribute to scholarship on a global level.
And can you tell us a little bit of why international engagement is so important in today's society? I think you've sort of already alluded and elaborated on that, but just a few key words and to encourage those who are in education, who are in school, who are actually thinking about furthering their education and how important and how critical this is. It's a little bit of selling UCCI at this point.
Yes. Well, we live in a globalized world, and I think that one of the beauties of being able to pursue higher education in the Caribbean context, sometimes we don't recognize that we have something that is so unique. Absolutely. Just this morning, we were on a call with someone from Portugal wanting to find out more about the status of artificial intelligence and policy implementation and the implications of that for our economies, and how that compares to developed countries or countries in Europe or North America. So just being able to have that dialogue with globalization, with people being able to work from anywhere in the world, with what the labor market looks like globally. Many persons in the Cayman Islands, they want to go off to work, they want to go off to further their studies. So being able to have that advantage pursuing a local education and still being able to tap in to networks internationally, it just positions you better for when you go off, wherever you may go to be able to have an appreciation and an understanding of how you can contribute to the education space, to the labor market on a global level. So we are trying increasingly to position and to prepare our students for the world of work, not just here, but on a global level. And that is important for them to have the international networks, for them to be able to integrate seamlessly, and for them to have an appreciation of what the world of work looks like, what the higher education setting looks like globally. That is what we want to do, prepare students for the world of work on a global level.
And we do need that here in the Cayman Islands to build on what we have worked on within the financial service industry and where Cayman sits as a financial center globally and internationally. So having our education partnerships improving on that prepares them better to understand, not just by going to school overseas, but the fact is that working in the Cayman Islands, you're exposed to so many global geographical locations and international business sectors. Who is eligible to join, and what does induction mean for them?
So the persons who are eligible to join, anyone who has pursued education at UCCI for at least one academic year and would have graduated with a GPA or had a GPA of 3.25. So it includes current students as well. And because of the timing of the induction ceremony, it is really perfect timing because we have our honors convocation where we also celebrate academic excellence for students who have made it on the dean's list, on the president's list, who have excelled in their respective areas of expertise. So we will give awards for students in the performing arts, in music, in top achievers in some of the disciplines. So they will be able to wear their regalia And again, this is not something that is common in a Caribbean
in a Caribbean setting, or
so
even in the Cayman Islands.
Exactly.
It
So being able to wear your regalia. And we also have the Sigma Beta Delta. They have some persons being inducted, and they will all be able to don their regalia at the time of our convocation ceremony. And we're really looking forward to that.
Sounds like it's going to be a really exciting time, a
Yes.
really proud moment for
Absolutely
not just the UCCI, but the Cayman Islands on a whole. The Education Ministry Department should be beaming at such a great achievement that we're about to make.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the event on the 24th. What can family, friends attend, public, or just those special?
Yeah. So we want persons to be able to have their family celebrate with them. Unfortunately, we are restricting numbers, so persons can at least bring along one guest to celebrate in the moment. Again, we are aiming to have 40 inductees, so we want it to be a celebration of those persons. We want it to really be a succinct, really nice program. We intend to have a guest speaker. We're not ready to share those details yet. That will be a nice surprise coming closer to the event. And we also will be embarking on a marketing campaign. So you will see alumni from UCCI, their bios. Sometimes I know this person went to UCCI, they did this or they did that. You're not aware of what they're doing in the community, what they're doing locally. And there are persons who attended UCCI and are really doing exceptionally well, both locally and abroad. So we hope to attract some of those persons. So the program will be from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We would recognize the persons who have done well in their areas of expertise. We have a photo opportunity with their regalia. We hand over their certificate to them, and they will officially be inducted and be able to leverage some of these networks for their professional development opportunities. And of course, they will have their one family member or friend can join them on that evening, and we will have our faculty as well as leadership present to recognize them on that special occasion.
Well, the media, of course, the media will be there to have coverage, so we'll be able to go back and look at it for those of us who are unable to attend due to the good practices of limitation for various reasons.
Yes.
We're going to pause, take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more talk today.
Sure.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
It's me again, that old gal Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Find out about all the community happenings from nonprofit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board, brought to you by UCCI. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today. And the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, serving the community for over 5 decades. The community calendar, also brought to you by Baptist Health International, healthcare that cares. Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board.
The Fall Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office. The Labor Force Survey seeks to collect data on employed and unemployed persons who are not in the labor force. The Quality of Life Survey seeks to gather information on life satisfaction, sense of well-being, financial security, economic outlook, social inclusion, sense of belonging to the local community, and perceived health. Trained interviewers with ID cards will visit randomly selected households. For more details, please call the ESO hotline 516-3329.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Laura Young. And in the studio with us today, we have Miss Geneive Phillip Durham, who is the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences. And she's here telling us about the Phi Beta Delta Honor Society for International Scholars, which is going to be inducted for the first time in the Cayman Islands at UCCI on the 24th of October. And before the break, she was telling us about the criteria and eligibility for the students. I'm wondering if you could tell us also how the faculty and staff can be nominated as well.
So I have gone ahead and nominated all of the faculty in the Division of Humanities and Social Sciences to become inductees. Because for faculty and staff to be nominated, they must prove that they have made significant contributions to international teaching, research, and curriculum development based on our division offerings. All of our faculty do meet that criteria. And leadership in building global understanding and supporting student engagement. So all of our full-time faculty in the division, as well as adjunct faculty, have been nominated, and they are welcome to participate in the induction ceremony based on having met the criteria of contributing to excellence in higher education. So we do hope that many of them will become inductees on the day, and the same applies for staff. If they can display excellence in academic administration, we do have an online application form, and we do want to collect the data because we want to convey to the Cayman Islands community as well as the international community. When we talk about academic excellence, we want them to be able to see that visually. So when you see the bios of the persons who will be inducted, we want others to feel encouraged so that they may be able to be inducted the following year and be part of this global community.
Sounds good. So how many faculty and staff? What's the number, if you're able to give me the
in my division is a team of 12, and we have across semesters, I would say 20 to 30 adjunct faculty. So we are really looking forward to them being a part of this.
Very commendable.
Yeah.
In what is the, as we wrap up, what is the future of UCCI? Can you tell us a little bit about, in addition to this high achievable moment that you will be celebrating later this month, what else is what else would you like to tell us about the future
So we
of
are
UCCI?
still in celebration mode for the 50th anniversary, which wraps up. Thank you. Which wraps up in March of May next year. So you will continue to see activities celebrating and commemorating our 50th anniversary. And I think we are at the juncture where we are prioritizing digital skills, upskilling, providing more opportunities for the community. So not just offering traditional degree programs, but micro-credentialing and making education accessible. UCCI would have been the recipient of a RISA-BID grant looking at the sustainable development goals. And one of those goals would be goal number 4, quality education. So really being able to make our mark in terms of quality education, ensuring that it remains accessible and affordable to the community, and ensuring that we offer programs that both short-term and long-term via different modalities that are relevant to the context and the evolution that we're experiencing, not just in labor, looking at labor market surveys and having program offerings that are relevant to these contexts, because we are seeing how quickly AI is changing things. We are seeing how quickly you're talking about moving from not just social work, for example, but the evolution of that, having green social work, not just education, looking at education technology, not just social sciences, but looking at the full gamut of program offerings that cover the social sciences, and seeing how we can tailor those to be able to respond to some of the challenges and to be able to leverage some of the opportunities that present ourselves, that we can be able to produce graduates that are able to contribute immediately to the Cayman Islands society and contribute to the development trajectory that we are on. So those are some of the things that UCCI would be focused on. You can be on the lookout for more relevant, contextually relevant programs. And it would be remiss of me not to mention the performing arts and the role that we do see the performing arts playing in student development, both now and in the future. So we do have, having had a long-standing since 2010, a performing arts program, which is also within the remit of my division. We've launched a cultural studies program, and we want to be able to contribute to that conversation about preserving culture and heritage in the Cayman Islands. And we want students to be able to see that they can contribute to the economy, that they can monetize their skills, that they can contribute both nationally, whether it's with CARICOM regionally, that they can find careers in culture and heritage nationally and regionally. So we're really excited about that new program that we've launched, the AA in Cultural Studies, and we also have an Associate of Arts in Digital Media Production. We want students to be able to contribute to that revolution in what media looks like in the 21st century. So we hope to continue to do much more of that and to be able to continue to meet the needs of the Cayman Islands community.
Sounds exciting. Sounds very engaging, rewarding, all that UCCI has evolved in the last 50 years. I know I was talking to you during one of the breaks or at the beginning that I actually attended UCCI when it was called the Community College of the Cayman Islands. And unfortunately at that time, but fortunately we had the opportunity to attend there, those of us who did that almost 40 years ago, would have done a basic business course. Is there any... Would those individuals who would have attended from back then have the opportunity to be inducted in the future?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Within that beta?
Absolutely. So please do reach out. We do have the application form. We are considering and we welcome all applications. We really do want to be able to celebrate. And I want to emphasize that it is not just for current students. So alumni, even if you were at UCCI when the sun was just turning and they opened the first classroom,
back in 1987.
Please, by all means, we do want to be able to celebrate because we do appreciate that our alumni, like yourself, you attended UCCI and here you are hosting this interview with me. We want to be able to celebrate that and for students to see that this is what it could look like for you in the next 50 years. So by all means, please reach out.
Well, for the listeners who may have just joined, we have Miss Geneive Phillip Durham from UCCI. She is the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences. And in closing, we would like her to just remind us of the ceremony that will be held on Thursday, October the 24th at the campus from 5 to 6:30. Can you just give us, again, the highlights?
Yep. So it's 5 to 6:30 p.m. We are aiming to have 40 inductees. You graduated from UCCI with a GPA. You have a current GPA of 3.25. We welcome your application. If you feel that you do not meet that criteria, but you can convey to us that you have contributed academically, in the community, regionally, We are also considering those applications, so those persons would be considered honorary awardees or honorary inductees into the ceremony. And we really look forward to just having an engaging evening of celebration, and persons who can also serve as ambassadors in the future. We really do want to keep our alumni very close. I say to everyone, as an alumni of the University of the West Indies, whenever I'm called upon, I do respond, because I have that connection, and that is the type of connection we do want to form with our students, that they are able to respond when we call on them, and we want them to be able to serve as ambassadors to encourage persons to pursue a national education and to recognize the value of it. Even if they do intend to go off afterward, we do want them to appreciate what is offered at the University College of the Cayman Islands and to recognize the exceptional academics that we do have on staff.
Yes. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here today. But before we wrap up, one question came to mind as you were promoting UCCI and very proudly. So we thank you for your contribution in your short span within the Cayman Islands, but in the Caribbean on a whole.
Thank you.
So glad to know that you have chosen to be here with us, not just at Radio Cayman, but in the Cayman Islands. As it relates to UCCI, and forgive me if my research did not take me as far as this. Does UCCI have like a UCCI day where you have your school on stage and promoting all the programs that you offer, celebrating? That's probably something you did in the 50th anniversary, but is that something ongoing that you do, or
not a UCCI day? The last we had an open campus event was in 2022, but we do have open houses where we do by division, because we appreciate that not everyone wants to be an accountant. So we do have the Student Life Department just led an open house as well, where you come, you are exposed to the 4 divisions and the divisions offering, as well as the extra and co-curricular activities that are available. So we do occasionally have those, and we do outreach in the community where we go to the schools as well. We were just at an expo locally to share some of our offerings, so really ensuring that people know that we are accessible and what is available to them. There are persons who would have completed studies at UCCI many years ago, and they would return for our short courses. Some of the program offerings that we have that is not as intensive as a 4-year degree program. We have 6 weeks to 8 weeks, so people are interested in those things, and we are doing more to reach the community and to sensitize them on what we have being offered. So be on the lookout for our next open house.
I will be looking out, and will be visiting to see how I can maybe return to pursue some further education and some interests that I have. Well, we wish you,
thank you,
you and your faculty, your department, and UCCI on a whole, great success with the new Beta Society that's being inducted later this month, and ongoing.
Yes.
May you continue to grow in strength, from strength to strength, as you empower young, not so young.
Young at heart.
Let me
young at heart.
Not get in trouble. Traditional and non-traditional students. As you know, knowledge is power, and education is the way that we prepare our society for liberation and freedom and knowing information. We're going to pause, take a break, hear the news, and when we come back, we'll have more talk today.
Thank you.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Cayman's Consumer Price Index edged up by 0.1% in the April to June quarter when compared to Q1. Communication led the gains up 5.7%, driven by higher costs for telephone and telefax services, up 6%, and related equipment, up 3.2%. Restaurants, clothing, and education recorded moderate increases, while transport, food, and health saw slight declines over the 3-month period. In international news, France's political turmoil deepened as newly appointed Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu resigned less than a month into the job and under a day after naming a new cabinet that led to a key ally to withdraw support. President Emmanuel Macron accepted the resignation, narrowing his options as approval ratings sit at record lows. And in the Eastern Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines recorded stronger revenues but slightly higher spending through the first 8 months of the year. Current revenue reached $583 million East Caribbean dollars, up from $517 a year before, with $70 million more in taxes, highlighted by corporate taxes at $40 million EC, up 22%. Despite the gains, the current account showed a small deficit of about $718,000 EC, reflecting higher compensation costs and brisk capital outlays. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
HSA's orthopedic clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's orthopedic clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP, was born at Cotton Tree Bay, Cayman Brac, on October 15, 1916, to James Nathaniel Tibbetts and Elsie Huldah Tibbetts, knee hunter. He was a man of many talents, from shipbuilding, seafaring, a military career, a prosperous entrepreneur, and many decades of service to the people of Cayman Brac and the Cayman Islands as a whole. After serving as a member of the lawmaking body known as the Vestry, from 1946 to 1968. He represented the Cayman Islands at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association in Trinidad in 1968 and again in 1978. In 1969, he was appointed a JP. Then in 1976, he was elected to the Legislative Assembly for a 4-year term. Notably, the Cayman Brac representative petitioned the Legislative Assembly with names of over 400 Cayman Brackers, stating they wished to remain a crown colony rather than follow Jamaica's route of independence. In 1977, he represented the Cayman Islands at the Queen's Silver Jubilee in London. In 1988, he was made a member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, among numerous other community awards, and served with many groups from Ebenezer Baptist Church to Education Councils, Veterans and Seamen Society, CUC, and the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac. As a testimony of his contributions to his community and connection to sea and tourism, in 1996, shortly after his passing, a Russian destroyer was renamed the MV Captain Tibbets in his honor and sunk in Cayman Brac waters by the Cayman Islands government to become a popular dive site. After a long and distinguished life of service to his community, he passed away on March 10, 1996. He was married to the late Hilary Elizabeth Marjorie Tibbets, and together they had 5 children. This was part 7 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbets.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. Good afternoon, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. I'm your guest host, Laura Young, and in the studio with me now is Mr. Shomari Sot, who is no stranger to media, to the Cayman Islands, our Chief Business Officer for Health City.
That's right.
And you're here to talk about education. What a great topic this afternoon. You would have heard our previous guests from UCCI, and now we're evolving into the healthcare education, which is so critical to ensuring that our young children and young people, students from all levels, understand the importance of how Health City has been contributing to the Cayman Islands and your commitment to education since you've been around.
More than a decade.
Yes. More than a decade. Yes. And especially about your programs, which is all under the umbrella of the healthcare. I think as we were talking before the show began, it's now going to be called the Health City
Explorers,
yes. Which is umbrella programs. So on that note, I'm going to just ask you to tell us a little bit about what inspired Health City to start with this program.
So we're moving from Healthcare Explorers to Health City Explorers, and the reason being, when I actually explain all of the programs, we're always front facing in front of children, parents, teachers, and at times from the first glance, people wouldn't quite understand Healthcare Explorers, who it is, what it is. So we said, you know what, let's take out the healthcare. People know Health City as healthcare now after 10 years, and just put Health City Explorers. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So the whole reason for the program from inception was that we wanted to inspire young minds. We wanted them to explore the possibility of career paths within healthcare. And we needed to reach them at their level so that they could understand all the opportunities. Prior to Health City being in the Cayman Islands, a lot of the sexy tertiary type of care, whether it's a brain surgeon or a cardiac surgeon, we didn't have on island. So we realized that being a doctor itself is is still sexy, but the highest level of sexy when it comes to healthcare we didn't have. But now with Health City here, we do have it. And it was actually Dr. Devi Shetty who mentioned, and it was so interesting because previous life, being in tourism, I remember we used to have, there was a quiz, and let me try and remember it. It said, this profession 95% of this profession knew they were going to be this profession before the age of 10, which, which profession is it? And that's the only profession that has individuals knowing from that young. Now, everyone who wants to be this profession doesn't necessarily become, but everyone who does become actually knew before the age of 10. And it was always pilots, all right? And I remember even thinking back to when I was in school and I had a friend who he wanted to do two things. He wanted to be a bodybuilder and he wanted to be a pilot. And sure enough, he threw out his back trying to be a bodybuilder, but he did become a pilot. Flew with Cayman Airways, flew over in Dubai, flew in the United States. And I was like, this might actually be true. And I remember Dr. Shetty telling us that he said, 90% of nurses and doctors know they want to be nurses and doctors before the age of 12. So it just reinforced that with this program, he said, we want to be able to get as many students to have touch points throughout all of our hospital so that they can at least start to think about whether or not they want to be a part of a healthcare journey. And that's how Health City Explorers was developed. Sorry. And we started in June 2014 with 18 students that would have become 18 quality encounters as we track them. And from a management perspective, I've always learned that you can't manage what you can't measure. So from very early days when I got the pleasure of being a part of the program from a leadership perspective, the first thing we did is, okay, how do we develop our metrics and what does that mean? And how will we know we would have been successful? So we have various programs and products that denote a quality encounter. So, for instance, we will have Shadow a Doctor, all right? Or we call it Shadow a Doctor, but you can also shadow nurses. You can also shadow technicians. So the program has branched out. However, the brand is known. Like, young people come and ask us for Shadow a Doctor. And these are carrying age-appropriate students.
How young can they start before they
So
shadowing?
That one, depending now, at the younger ages, you can't go see a surgery, right? But around age 14, 15, you can see a surgery. But even prior to that, you can still shadow a doctor while he does his other things, his rounds.
And how young is that, like 8, 10?
Yeah, so that goes as young as so
5?
we typically, not 5, we typically would have that program around 10. But we've also had younger students that have reached out to us, obviously through their parents, and we've facilitated. We always try and facilitate. Now we have Shadow a Doctor program. We also have a surf program, which are for university students, whereby during the summer, we carry them through the hospital, through all of the different areas. They know at the end, they're actually going to have to write more or less a patient care path plan. So they're paying attention, they get different lectures, they're given a scenario of a patient, and then they actually have to write up the patient care pathway on the back end, and it's graded and they get a grade and the such. And we've had many, many, many students who have actually written to us and told us that when I was applying for med school, afterwards when I asked, they were told that one of the reasons that separated them from their other cohort was due to the fact that they had gotten this experience with Health City. So we were just always looking at ways to engage with the students. And so when we were actually brainstorming and saying, how are we going to reach? Social media, yes. But then we realized, obviously, the easiest place to reach them is through the schools. That's where they are. And then when we first started doing it, we were getting some pickup, not a lot of pickup. But then we realized we needed to sit with the science leads and understand what they're teaching within the curriculum. And then we developed, for instance, on-demand videos, which now is our greatest product, where we, for instance, if the science lead said, we are teaching about light or magnets, then we would figure out what within the hospital MRI machine deals with magnets or light and how it works, and find a fun way to put that video together that the then science lead can play that in the classroom when they're ticking the box, because this is helping them to teach their curriculum. And for us, it's now putting it together where our students can see in a real life scenario where science comes to life to help save lives.
Just bridging the gap between practicality and theory and practical.
Correct.
And understanding how that works so that they can prepare their minds and see whether it is something that they really want to pursue, in their higher education.
Definitely.
So you spoke about these videos. Who are they taught by?
So the videos are actually it's our staff.
It's your staff.
It's our staff. It's everything within the actual hospital, with our doctors and or nurses, and on the back end, we also would have a live session where the children can remotely ask the physician questions on the back end of it as well. Once again, exciting them. And the great thing is that in going through this process, every high school within the government sector actually uses our on-demand videos. We also have a product with our science fairs where we sponsor the different schools to hold science fairs to have experiments, and then the kids win prizes after the judging at the end. And every primary and high school within the government segment, we are the sponsor for, and they all look a little bit different, but we set aside budget and we work with the science lead and we develop it, and it's really their program, but we're helping to support, once again, because we want to inspire minds. And I recall it would have been, now I didn't bring it with me, so don't hold me to it, but it would have been 2014, and as we get more mature, our memory fades. So I always need my notes, but I'm going to try.
So important.
I'm going to try and remember this. When we were looking at the question I asked before, how will we know we would have been successful? We said, okay, well, what is the data set that we can have that would tell us that what we're doing in conjunction with obviously the schools and elsewhere would mean we encourage more people to take medical pathways. And we figured it out in that it would be scholarships, right? What percentage of the student population were taking medically inclined courses and or degrees? And if I recall correctly, in 2014 would have been about 8%. And we said, okay, if by 2018 we would have increased that to 13%, we would have been successful. And sure enough, when we went and looked again in 2018, it was actually 18%. I
was going to say 20, but that's a good guess.
By 2023, memory don't fail me, by 2023, if I recall, it's 22%. So we would have seen a jump from 8% to 22% over a series of years. And obviously, it's all the different factors and having many different partners and everyone working towards STEM, especially nowadays, understanding even from a digital perspective. So there's been a lot of emphasis, and we would like to think that we would have played a part. And when we know that we have made a difference is when we have the principals and the science leads who are giving us testimonials talking about how Health City has helped their science program and how they have seen directly where students have achieved at a higher level because of the excitement and the practical nature of what we're bringing to the fore with those youngest of minds. So we would have had on-demand videos when we started, but that would have been more high school. And we kept saying, yes, we have games and such to reach even your younger students.
Which is where I was going to go.
6, 7, 8. And we're like, how are we going to be able to reach? And then this year, we're proud of our on-demand video, which we created, which is a cartoon. All right, a cartoon. And the first one in that series is Becky Learns About Hearing. And when people see the uniform, they're like, wait, that's West Bay Primary. Sorry, I still.
How did I know you were going to say West Bay Primary?
I still, I always have to ask.
You still have that passion about
which one that is again? Because they all have new names now, right? I'm like, what is it?
John A. Cumber Primary School, but that's okay.
They whispered to me, John.
I'm from that era where West Bay Primary is very familiar.
Right. And I'm from that area where I started as Cayman Islands High School.
And you ended up at John Gray.
And then I graduated from John Gray High School. But people still ask me, where you went to school? High school. Cayman Islands High School. But anyway, so they'll notice the uniform. They'll notice the young girl who looks very Caymanian. And the doctor just keeping
You said
true.
looks. She's not Caymanian?
She is,
Okay.
but just by looking,
We've
you
got
can
to be
say.
careful how we say these words and these descriptive words.
Yeah, well, it's cartoons, right? So, it can be difficult at times to get a cartoon to look like you want it to look, right?
Look
Then
like
when you
exactly
develop-
like the person.
Right. So definitely persons can see that it would be a young Caymanian primary school student asking the doctor about her ears and hearing, and the doctor is explaining about the sea and those types of sounds. And then obviously, because it's a cartoon, you can bring in the sea and the imagery of the sea, and then the hard sounds, which is the thunder. And Becky gets a little bit scared, and doctor tells her not to be scared and such. But that is going to excite and keep the attention of our youngest.
Age appropriate.
And it's age appropriate, and they start to make the connections with science from the youngest of ages as well. So we're proud of the brainstorming we have, and we have a great team. Mr. Charles Bush, who is the education manager, and Miss Shakira Connor, who is the education specialist. And it, now with my other hat on, from a health city perspective, we actually were serious about what we were doing, that we have an actual full-time position to start, which was just for this program. And because it grew so much, we then, I don't even want to say fought, we just said that we needed to have another position within to do much more. And sure enough, we got that position. So now we have 2 full-time positions. That this is what they do, and then obviously all the resources to develop all the videos, to develop all the materials, plus they go into the schools. We develop awards, we pay for awards, we have a lot of sponsorships. So across the board, we would like to think we're touching as many places as possible to try and get our young people to at least taste what medicine is like. No pun intended. But a career in medicine, so that because from a young age, if you are going to decide to take that route, there's certain core classes you have to do well in to be able to get to the next level. So it's good for them to understand.
And it goes back to STEM, right?
Yes.
It goes back to the...
Yes.
And for the purposes of our listeners who may have just joined us, we're engaging with Mr. Shomari Scott, the Chief Business Officer, and he's talking about Health City's contribution, our continuous contribution for the last 11 years to ensuring that there is education and a focus of ensuring that from a primary school age to a college age, that they are understanding the importance and what... not just the importance of a career in medicine, no pun intended, as he said, as I quote him, but to understand that it's not just doctors and nurses, but there are other areas within the medical field that you can actually pursue a career in. Now, you actually mentioned, not alluded to, that you're making these videos. Thank you for sharing that. These videos are based or benchmarked off of our national curriculum, the Cayman Islands National Curriculum. Can you expound on confirm that?
Right. So within each school, we work with the science lead, and based on the curriculum. So even in the private schools,
I was going to ask if it's not just the public school. There's private schools as well.
It's all public schools, but we have most private as well, not all. So when I speak about 100% of the public schools, it's because, one, that's near and dear to my heart, obviously coming from public school myself, but two, the fact that very early days, I don't want to say it was easier, but we found that we were able to have more engagement. And if it was left up to me and we had to choose, I would want to go back to the schools that really touched a lot of our staff who are Caymanians throughout, and a lot of it is public schools, so we definitely were pushing from that angle, but we also push from the private school, and obviously or not obviously, but approximately 50% of the students, even within the private school, are Caymanians. So, we need to reach them as well. And the private schools have been great. A lot of them have come on board. And right now, even if more wanted to come on board, we would have to start looking at if we need more resources, because it's a small team, but it's an impactful team that does a lot. And in June 2014, I spoke about the first 18 students, which was our first 18 quality encounters. And as of 2025, ending 2024's school year, which is obviously June 2025, we would have had over 67,000 quality encounters. And now,
how did these encounters evolve? I know 67,000 is a lot that you have through the schools.
Mm-hmm. So it's our field trips, it's our shadow a doctor, it's the students in the classroom that are engaging with our videos. We have internships, we have various interactions with the students across the board. So as I mentioned, like the shadow a doctor, that's one student encounter.
There's the SURF program.
The SURF program. Now that isn't 67,000 individual students, because what we have seen is that we excite them when they're young and they come through 6 and 7 and 8 of our programs. So that's 8 quality encounters. But we all know, it's just like advertising, it takes 5 marketing messages for it to start to resonate. So we want our students that are really interested to have as many encounters as possible, and even shadow a doctor. You can come and shadow a neurologist, but then say, I really like cardiothoracic, and then shadow cardiothoracic and come back and say, you know what, I think orthopedics is the way I'm going to go and shadow an orthopedic physician as well. So we just try and have as many quality interactions as possible across the board with as many students as many times as possible, hoping to spark the minds. And we've now, after starting 11 years ago, we're starting to see the fruit of those seeds, whereby you are having some of the students that came to us a little bit later in their career, student career, where they're like, you know what, I think I want to be a doctor, let me come on SURF. And we're seeing those doctors now graduating and doing great things. And we have one who's actually in the UK right now, who we have a video with her as well, talking about how healthcare explorers,
remind me of her name again. I think I saw that on the internet.
Lexi Anglin, I think is
yes.
Lexi Bodden. Lexi Anglin is her last name. And so or Lexi Bodden, one or two.
Forgive us if we're saying your wrong name, wrong last name, Lexi.
I have.
The first name is resonating.
I think I know more than one Lexi, so I'm Dr. Lexi.
And I believe Health City is also, and we say congratulations to you and to her for allowing her and engaging her and empowering her to take this route. And I think we should celebrate this throughout the Cayman, because we know in the past, not just a pilot, everybody wanted to be an accountant, or they thought they, needed to be a lawyer. And we're not speaking negatively or adversely against any of those professions, because I think every child.
My wife is one.
Yes, I'm aware. So I'm giving you a little bit of a balance there. I'm protecting you over the airwaves. But yes, to say the point I'm making, or would like to make, is that we are becoming a better society for having more rounded individuals pursuing the passions for which they were created.
Right.
And which they find that they really want to do, versus being pushed into a different direction that is totally against what their belief system or their academic abilities or psychologically, sociologically. Health City.
Yes.
You are an accredited TVET as well.
Yes. So
tell us a little bit about that.
So like you were mentioning, in regard to some of the technical areas, not just doctors doctors and nurses. For instance, we got accredited as a TVET program through the ministry so that we can have programs such as training persons to be a sleep lab technician. So persons who have sleep apnea, and these are the individuals who are the technicians that when you come in, we have a brand spanking new sleep lab at Health City that it looks like a comfortable hotel room that's furnished by Tomlinson's Furniture. That you come in and you sleep in the bed. They actually attach the different digital devices to you to tell all of the parameters when you're sleeping, and they also know how to read it and give results and the such, and working obviously with the main physician that works in that area as well. As an example, training persons to be a phlebotomist, right, to pull blood, training persons to be within the medical records division, or a CSSD tech. Don't ask me what it stands for, but sterilization is in it. So these are the individuals who actually are trained to sterilize all of the equipment and all of the surgical materials that are used when you're in surgery. These are the individuals who's tasked with that important
very
job
critical
of making sure that it is sterilized properly. And we even had our first CSSD Caymanian tech in the island that was with us, that was trained with us, started as a porter, worked his way up. And interestingly enough, his brother was in a bad accident. And he didn't even know his brother was in that bad accident when he was on, and he's the gentleman who sterilized the equipment that saved his brother's life.
Powerful testimony, powerful story.
Yes.
We're going to pause, take a break, hear some messages, and when we return, we will have more talk today.
It's me again, that old Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
There's nothing more important than your health, and seeking expert healthcare with physicians you can trust is what you deserve. UHealth, the University of Miami Health System, offers peace of mind to you and your family with a first-class experience. Our patient coordinators assist with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. As South Florida's only academic-based health system, UHealth offers cutting-edge treatment, compassionate care, and life-changing results just a flight away. Learn more at umiamihealth.org/international.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube.
Download
our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Laura Young, and in the studio with us we have Mr. Shomari Scott, the Chief Business Officer at Health City, Cayman. And prior to the break, we were talking about the programs that Health City has been engaged in for the last 11 years. Shomari, can you tell us a little bit about I'll go back over the programs. We have the Explorer internships, on-campus field trips at our East End Hospital, career fairs, secondary school work experience, Shadow a Doctor, which seems to be the popular one, a doctor or a nurse, the STEM Day Camp, and that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, SURF, the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, and also we have TVET and the science fairs. How can someone get involved with these programs? We've talked about the age range, which is between...
Yeah, so we start as early as six straight
up to university age. Do they come directly to Health City, or do they go to their respective schools and contact
So it's
the
a
heads?
mix, definitely. Great question. It's a mix whereby students that are in school, obviously through the science leads, Health City is going to be there. So they don't have to search for us. We're already there.
And it's in the public and private, some private schools, but all public schools.
However, we have an email, explorers@healthcity.ky, that if you have a young person that you think you would like to, because obviously a lot of the younger students wouldn't have email. Parents, if you have a young person that you think you would want to go through one of our programs, email us at explorers@healthcity.ky. Tell us about the young person, what their interest is, and then our educational team will tell you what options are there and the times of year when those options are available. But this is a year-round program. It just depends on the specific program itself. And then obviously some of the areas have caps that we can, rightfully so, to do justice to the program. There may be 25 students or just 20 students over a month that we would be able to take. But definitely contact us if you have a young person who's interested in healthcare, and we'll figure out which program, either with the parent or with the young person, like 14, 15-year-olds, they email us directly, right?
So you have like a pre-interview or an interview with the
I guess you can call that an interview to understand exactly what their interest is, where it lies, and then we can match them up with where we think they would go best. And a lot of times they're actually requesting a program because a friend of theirs went through the program, they heard about it, and they want to also partake. But we always work to try, if a young person wants to get in, even if we can't get them in exactly the time frame that they may want, to figure out when we can get them in. Yes.
But there's enough screening or an interview process to assist them, because Shomari might have done the program and Laura wants to come along and do the program, but Laura might not necessarily have the technical abilities or the skill set or the academic progress to... and progress is not the word, achievements or results to pursue a doctor, but maybe Laura could become a nurse or could become something else. How have you ever come across have you ever had a scenario or a situation where a child might want to be some particular, a doctor or a nurse in the medical field, but turns out that they're not able to? How have you encouraged them to still maybe pursue another avenue within the medical field? Have you ever?
So that I can't recall.
It's a loaded question.
No, that I can't recall directly because typically we are getting our students at a point in time where they, if they're truly interested, they still have enough time to make up the grades and take the right career path. However, what I can tell you is that, and there is one young man that comes to mind specifically, and I understand, where he came through two products that we had. And while he was shadowing, he saw male nurses. And I think back to when I used to hear nurse.
It was always a feminine
I just never
process.
knew that males could be nurses until obviously later in life when you have more experience outside of Health City.
Same here.
With medical professionals, and you realize that there's a gentleman coming in, you're like, who is that? And what does he do? And they're like, oh, he's a nurse. And you're like, wait, okay. All right. So he would have been 14 at the time. He never envisaged seeing males as nurses. He just didn't know that was a thing. And he was like, a male and as a nurse? Mm-mm. But then going through the program, getting to learn the nurses that were there, even though he was there for something else, it triggered that, you know what, this is something I think I might actually want to do. And he shadowed being a nurse and actually then came through for a few other products, interned with us, and actually went into the nursing school to actually become a nurse.
And we do need both, right?
Yes,
because
definitely.
there's sensitivities to having the opposite sex administer, different processes throughout the medical procedure. So I think it is commendable to see a lot more male nurses. And I personally can speak that I wasn't aware until I entered a hospital and saw a male nurse.
Right.
Because that's the perception that we have,
Right.
and we're taught growing up thinking that it was.
So on that same trend of thinking, what we've also seen is that there are some young people that think they want to be nurses or think they want to be doctors. They've gone through the program and they then see blood and realize that, wait,
it's not for you.
This is not for me. Let me go back and take another avenue. So even if we are able to help people realize at an age-appropriate time that this may not be the career for them, that's also a win.
It is.
But for the most part, we see the mind sparking towards careers in healthcare, which is great.
Yes, because even in that scenario you just described, that not necessarily after they saw blood, I would be one of those that would not pursue a career with that. Tough in a lot of instances, but when I see the blood, it's just different. All of us have different sensory, different things that we can handle. Is that, were you able to keep them within the medical field in that particular instance when they were not?
They were young enough that they decided to go in a different direction. Yes.
And I've harped on that a little bit for a little bit, or maybe a little bit of a lot, if that's correct English, because we want to encourage parents and caretakers or guardians of children to allow them to explore their options as it relates to careers, because if you from an early age can determine what you are and what you are to become, it can save a lot of years of, and it's not wasted time, because what they learn, they can use it at other points in their life. But, to manage their times more wisely. Science fairs. Tell us a little bit about your science fairs.
Right. So as I mentioned, we work directly with the schools through a sponsorship scenario where we also provide the prizes and the such, but we really are providing the foundation of the funds for the science lead to, and they have committees as well, to come up with the ideas of inspiring the young people towards whether it's science projects and the such, and there are judges and there's voting, and it's really just to once again get STEM to be seen in a fun, interactive, and a practical way. And a lot of times, even though obviously schools get budgets from the government, a lot of times budgets are for specific things. And this is an area where we're saying, you know what, government shouldn't have to do everything. And we are there as a support system to help each school to have their own unique science program and fair. We just ask that obviously Health City's name is there so that people can know that we're a part of it, because we think it's important for people to make the connection with what we're doing in the community. But we also do a lot of things that people wouldn't see. But definitely we're proud of the science fairs, working with all of the government schools and some private. And we definitely think that's money very well spent.
Yeah, I do think so too. I concur that I'm really grateful because I've seen some of the benefactors of those STEM programs, and I look forward to seeing what they will become in the next 4 or 5 years once they enter university. So I definitely think it's well spent funds to empower our communities and make them better, make our students better. Partnerships. Now, one of your key partnerships or partners is with the Ruth Eleanor McLaughlin School
Of Nursing. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So from early days, UCCI, which you had one of the individuals from UCCI in here previously, has had a nursing school, and we always wanted to see how we could help. So there are cohorts of nurses that across HSA as well that come to Health City at a certain level within the program for us to give practical experience as well as to help with some of the theory and the technical areas. And we work directly with the School of Nursing at UCCI to make sure that program is as robust as possible. And we always look forward to how we can enhance. And even a component of it is we know that recognition helps the whole court to achieve, as to highlight those individuals that have done great work. So we're the title sponsor of the Health City Ruth E. McLaughlin Alumni Excellence Award, and this is where individuals from the community as well as from schools can nominate a nurse from the Cayman Islands community that they think did excellent work, and there is a bipartisan voting where Health City would be one of 3 or 4 judges from across that would actually go ahead and judge the different nominations, and the individual that's successful would get that award.
Sounds great. We're going to pause, and when we come back, we will continue our conversations with Talk Today.
It's me again, that old Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle Rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Attention Cayman, transform your kitchen for less with Granite Express Cayman. Skip the Christmas rush and take advantage of our year-end promotion. Offer is valid until October 31st. Refresh your space with our cabinet respray services and quartz countertops for as low as $3,950. Selected material. If you only need a countertop, prices start at $2,250. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit Granite Express Cayman today or call 922-0424 for our free estimate. Granite Express, quality stone, unbeatable prices.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Laura Young, and in the studio with us at this time, is Mr. Shomari Scott, the Chief Business Officer at Health City, and he's been talking about their commitment and their continuous commitment over the last 7 years to education and in the public and private schools, but with an emphasis on encouraging our young people to have a career in the medical field and not just being a doctor and nurse. And before the break, we were talking about your partnerships and the partnerships in
particular UCCI.
In particular, the UCCI with the nursing. And we talked a little bit about the sponsor of Health City, Ruth E. McLaughlin Alumni Excellence Award. Can you continue on with the other sponsorships that you have in relation to this nursing program?
So we also sponsor the Mary J. Seacole Prize for the first-year student with the highest GPA. So that's in honor of the Jamaican British nurse, Mary J. Seacole. A lot of times people know about Florence Nightingale, but
we have our own Caribbean.
Right. Mary J. Seacole also is at that level of quality when it comes to an impact when it comes to the nursing field period, and we felt that our Caribbean people should be held up as well. So
Absolutely.
That's why we went ahead and named it after.
And would you say, Shomari, that we have someone who would pretty much be almost that level within the Cayman context, the Cayman Islands context?
So that's why we also have our alumni awards, so that we can hold up all those nurses of past who have also set the framework and set the quality. Not being from the medical field previously, not trained in the medical field, a lot of times you don't understand who you have in front of you, and being now, at least being aligned in the medical field, because I'm still not medically trained, you get to see the highlights of such great former nurses and medical practitioners that we definitely need to hold them up more. And Mrs. Rose, and I never say first names, but I didn't even realize that Mrs. Rose, that's our cab sex mummy, right? I didn't even realize that she was a nurse previously. Now I would have seen her around.
Contributed a lot to the.
We would have seen her around
Islands,
football when I was younger,
field.
right? And when you're young, you really don't quite know what people do, but it's so amazing when you actually go to either conferences or these ceremonies, and you start to understand the people that are in front of you and the impact that they've made and how great they truly were and are and still are.
Yeah, you
what they continue to
they're the quiet giants, I call them.
Yes.
The quiet, very humble people that have contributed, but not necessarily wanted to be accoladed or praised, but I think that we should should recognize them.
And Nurse Brown is another one. Right, so you have, those are the stalwarts. Those are,
and Nurse Josie,
right?
Famous Nurse Josie Solomon, Nurse Brown, Nurse Rose. There's so many.
You have to definitely hold them up, because you only hope and wish that at some level you'll make that type of impact. You always hope and pray that you reach your mature years, and if and when you do, that you would have made that type of impact, and that people can speak about you the way we speak about those stalwarts from a medical perspective, and everything they've done since as well, because they weren't just nurses, right? They were also whether or not
leaders.
Correct, leaders, teachers, philanthropists outside of their careers. It's just amazing to see so many Caymanians that did such great things and continue to do great things.
Well, as we wrap up, Shomari, can you just give us a little brief synopsis of your programs, your Health Explorers, what you want to leave the listening audience, what's the point that you want to drive home in relation to Health Cities, philanthropists' contribution to education and commitment, and also the future?
Definitely. So Health City Explorers is really meant to attract Caymanians, young Caymanians, to pathways in healthcare. And we just look forward to reaching as many young people as possible through the various products we have, through schools, public and private. Reach out to us directly at explorers@healthcity.ky so that we can even place young people outside of schools within our hospital to be able to see the different areas, because we just want to spark those minds towards careers. And we are hopeful, and we know it will happen, that in the next 15 to 20 years, multi-generational Caymanians will be teeming with life throughout the healthcare industry. I will always remember hearing that there is a politician that when they were talking about a certain industry, and there was an individual that's talking about, look how many persons are Caymanians in these roles. And I'll always remember hearing the individual say, don't show me partners that you made Caymanian. Show me Caymanians that you made partner, right? And for me, success, and obviously, immigration is another topic for another day, but success,
yes, it is.
Success will be when we have many multi-generational Caymanians in general, but multi-generational Caymanians throughout the healthcare industry that were born and grown, decided this is what they wanted to do, and they were able to achieve in that area, and that's our hope. And for me, leaving tourism and coming into healthcare and using my skill set where I was able to use it to be able to help Health City to get to where we've gotten to today. I remember I don't know if it's a proverb or maybe a Greek proverb that was saying that a nation is great when old men plant seeds for which shade they know they will never sit. And that's just, persons who are just doing the right thing, knowing that I probably won't be around, whether in healthcare or not, when we have the majority of healthcare professionals being multi-generational Caymanians. But the fact that we know it's the right thing to do, and we're planting those seeds now is what's most important.
Yeah, because some will plant the seeds, some will water the seeds.
That's right.
And some will be the benefactors
That's right.
of the flowers that bloom.
That's right.
We also have, as someone is letting me know here, thank you for that WhatsApp message, former nurses and midwife, which was Nurse Clara Eden, Nurse Beulah McLaughlin.
Yes.
And once we open up that...
Yeah. Hold them up high.
Hold them up high.
Definitely.
There's so many. Thank you, Shomari. Mr. Scott, I'm being very...
No. Mr. Scott's my father.
Is your father.
That's right.
And I'm quite acquainted with both of you, so that's why it's natural for me to say Shomari, because when I say Mr. Scott, I'm thinking of your father.
Yeah. I'm looking around. Where is he?
Probably listening somewhere.
Definitely.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for
having
all that you do and your organization, Health City, and we look forward to seeing more great things from you in the future, and certainly hearing a lot from you.
Definitely. And you've been doing an amazing job, so I hope I see you here when I come back next month. And the month after, and the month after.
Thank you for those plugs, and for those who are listening that need to hear it. Hopefully they're hearing it. And we got Nurse Annie, Nurse Pinky, all the legendary ones. But we're gonna pause, hear the news, and when we come back, we will have more talk today.
Did you know that in an event of a hurricane, water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use. Water may be disinfected by boiling or through the use of chlorine bleach. To disinfect through boiling, simply leave the water on the fire 1 minute after it begins to boil. To disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. If you're not able to smell the bleach in the water after 30 minutes, then add half of the amount of bleach that was added during the initial application. Recheck the water after 15 minutes to ensure there is residual bleach smell. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For more hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website, www.gov.ky/DEH.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
The Cayman Islands recorded a 1.9% inflation rate in the second quarter of 2025 year on year. The biggest price jump came from restaurants and hotels, where costs rose by 8.4%. Dining and cafe prices climbed 10%, while accommodation costs jumped by more than 3%, both locally and overseas. Other areas seeing higher prices included communication, up 8%, along with education, clothing, and healthcare services. Housing and utilities, however, were down 1.6%. In international news, the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago filed a lawsuit today to block President Donald Trump's administration from sending National Guard troops into the city. The lawsuit was filed just as troops were preparing to deploy and only hours after a federal judge halted a similar deployment to Portland, Oregon. The Trump administration continues to describe these Democrat-led cities as violent and lawless, while city officials argue that federal intervention only makes tensions worse. And the U.S. Supreme Court has rejected an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite and former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. On the first day of its new term, the court refused to revisit her conviction for helping lure teenage girls for Epstein's sexual abuse. Maxwell's lawyers argued she should never have been tried, but she remains behind bars serving a 20-year sentence. She was recently moved from a low-security prison in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas after an interview with the Deputy Attorney General.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market. It's me again, that old gal Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. It's open air now, so if you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. The phone lines are open, 1-800-534-8255. Our main line is 949-6990, or our WhatsApp number, 925-3261. This is the month of October, and we are celebrating many things this month. The Older Persons Month, Breast Cancer Awareness, Domestic Abuse, and on the 10th of October, we'll be celebrating World Mental Health Day. We now have a caller. Caller, you are on air. Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And how are you today, sir?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Were you able to listen to any of the previous guests that we had today? We had UCCI and we also had Health City. Were you able to listen to any of them?
No, I didn't actually. I just tuned in. Sorry about that. I just have a few comments to make.
Sure, go ahead, caller.
They're unrelated, but I just wanted to say I was reading an old article in the paper. Well, kind of going through some papers, and I saw an article in the paper where it was addressing the concern of cold cases in Cayman. And I know it used to be that we would have a special squad that would come into the country to address unsolved murders and disappearances and other things. And I know that recently with the advent of the young gentleman from the Cayman Compass that disappeared, the young reporter.
Yes.
And there have been several other murders that have taken place in West Bay, etc. I'm just hoping that our government of the day and the administrative powers that be are doing their best to possibly, once again, align themselves with a networking with possibly Scotland Yard or some overseas entity who can come in and give an unbiased overview of those cases and possibly come up with some type of result. You know, it's just unfortunate what's happening in Cayman when it comes to serious crime, especially violent crime and crimes of that nature. You know, they seem to be something that's becoming normal and more society acceptable. It's like it happens and we just continue on like it's business as usual, almost as though it didn't happen. And that's not the Cayman way. That's something that we've adapted and adopted because of the influence of other subcultures that we have chosen to embrace into our community. So I just hope that we can get back to that Cayman way where every life really matters, and possibly put some type of funding, some type of resource towards trying to get an answer from these things. Maybe even the community could, or even if the government could, you put out some type of reward or incentive in the community. That goes for across the board, not just the violent crime, but also the solicitation of unlicensed firearms. I know one time we had an amnesty. You don't see those kind of things happening anymore. Those are things that we're usually only reactive about and not proactive about, and those are things that we have to start getting proactive about. In my opinion, it's best that we deal with those things beforehand instead of after the fact. So I just wanted to state that because this article, it was really troubling when I was going over this and thinking about Andrew Harris and saying how there was another young lady that I recall.
So many.
I think so many. I think she was a Ramoon, but she disappeared off of the landfill. And
yes,
so we don't know what happened to them. They just vanished into thin air and came on, which, you know, it's weird that that's happening here in a small microcosm like ours. It's just the weirdest type of unwanted phenomena. So,
and I thank you, caller, for bringing this very important topic back to light. And like you say, the key words is for us to be more proactive, and these cold cases and the way in which they're handled. I would like us to perhaps see a more consistent effort in keeping the public informed, and for those responsible parties and areas of law and law enforcement to keep us educated on where the progress is and what has happened, and so that they don't just become cold cases, or we're understanding that maybe nothing's happened, but they're still working on them. So I thank you for bringing those very important points, and we pray that we will become more proactive. Any further comments before we have to take another caller? Any other comments?
That's right. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Caller, you're on the line.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Fine, and you?
Good, thanks.
I can't help but agree with that gentleman 110%. I will not hop on his conversation, but everything he says is so true. And we need to keep light on things that we keep putting in the dark. So I'll leave that like that. Really want to call for Miss Laura. I want to tell the people who's driving on our streets, when we're coming out of a side road and someone is behind you blowing their horn because you're not moving fast enough for them, I'm asking people, do not take no chance and come out and make a car hit you because someone behind you blowing wants you to move. And it is happening so regular. And another thing that they're doing, they're giving you the right of way, flashing you, telling you must come, and then they are still moving. Their cars are still moving. And I just want to tell people, anybody give you a blind, do not take it while their car is still moving. Come to a complete stop. It is very regular out here on our streets, and it needs to stop. And I just wondering, why we can't have a police officer on our roads from 5 o'clock till 6:30 in the morning with the speed that is coming from the eastern side of the island. Laura, let me tell you something. I don't know the good Lord that has me still living, because the craziness that is happening just from Newlands to the job, it's all this crazy driving and gliding from lane to lane. The other morning, 5:30, the sweeper was in the middle of a lane here on Linford Preston Highway. And if you see what the cars did that gentleman while he was trying to clean our streets, it was unbelievable. If they could have just picked him up and put him one side in that cleaner, they would have did that. I do not understand what is wrong with people. Where are their heart? Where are their mind? Why are they not considerable about what is happening and not being careful and take care of other people's lives? If you want to go and take your life, you go somewhere else and do it, but don't come on our streets and do it. And don't take down innocent people. See where I'm coming from?
Yes, caller, and road safety and road recklessness is a pet peeve of mine. So you are speaking on a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and I live up in that area, so I I see a lot of these things transpiring, and we need to be more conscious and more human about the others, but especially what you've just brought forward or brought to light, which a lot of us experience. I've experienced it before, is you as the individual are responsible for your car. So you get to decide when you're going to move and how you move out. So it is imperative. It is, it is important that you are kept in control of that. But a lot of them are inciting or wanting to push the other individual to move before time. And you're responsible for the person in front of you, on your left, on your right, behind, and the one that comes out sudden. That's what I've always said. So you are absolutely right.
True. That is so true. I don't know why all you can hear, we don't have enough officers. But my God, they see what's happening out here. They hear people calling and complaining. They got to put somebody on the roads in the morning because these guys are driving like a bunch of maniacs and they don't care about me and you. It's all about them. I have never seen a car at a funeral with any flowers on it. I've never seen one at a church with any flowers on it. But yet here they are out here driving like a bunch of crazy people. It's ludicrous, man. It's ludicrous.
It is.
2 more minutes?
Yes, you have a minute before we have to go, or half a minute before we have to go to break. So.
Oh, well, I will not start the discussion then. I will just leave that alone for another time.
Maybe you can call back or after the break?
No, it's almost school time now, so I would not be able to call back. Thank you. You have a great one.
Thank you, too, for calling. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Yes, road safety is so critical for everyone, those in the cars, those who are walking, those who are cycling, riding bikes. And we are appealing to you that be more careful, be more conscious of the others who are on the road, paying attention to the speed limit signs, paying attention to what you do and how and when you do it. We'll pause and take our final break for today, and when we come back, we'll have more Talk Today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
It's me again, that old Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle Rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from October 13 to 18 at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. It's our final segment. The phone lines are open. If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen, ready to engage with you. 1-800-534-8255 or 949-6990. Our WhatsApp number is 925-3261. I wanted to go back. I want to thank Mr. O.C. for sending me that information on the nurses, and it would be remiss of me if I didn't remember or remind the public of Miss Leela Yates, who was a famous nurse and midwife back for the whole island, but resided primarily in West Bay, 1899 to 1996. So we salute all our nurses, and if we didn't mention anyone's name, I think it's a start, and maybe as a nation we will recognize them in proper form sooner rather than later. And for our last two callers, especially both of them brought up some very, very critical points, very serious points that we need to be more proactive with. The cold cases, maybe we can have the RCIPS who are listening, or maybe listening, or someone can mention to them. Maybe we'll reach out to them and have them come in and maybe give us an update on the cold cases, on the processes, and what goes into that, and how many have been solved, how many are unsolved, how many are in the process, are they still working on them? It's definitely information that we as the public need to know and should know. And the caller also mentioned, the first caller talked about bringing in perhaps Scotland Yard to do an assessment or work along the side to give some further insight. So we know that the RCIPS has always been under some great scrutiny and needing resources, but I certainly think that to the second caller's point on road safety, I believe that there can be some strategic process into getting a police out there and the high traffic morning moments, maybe afternoon strategic times for an hour and a half. So hopefully that's something that they can work on. We do have another caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Talk Today. You are on air.
Hi, Laura. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I can see you're doing fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think this is your second segment you're hosting.
Yes, my second segment for this time around. Yes, this date.
Okay, this is my first time seeing you. I didn't catch most of the conversation and didn't realize it was open line, but I wanted to mention a nurse's name. She was not as well known in the entire Caymanian community as, some of the other names that you called, and maybe if other names were called earlier in the program. But I do feel the necessity to mention her name simply because she was a Caymanian, young Caymanian who passed away, untimely due to health issues, but she was a very well-known nurse in our local government schools for many, 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 many years. Marcia Hyde.
I know that's where you were going with it. I do recall her. Yes.
And she was beloved by many, many students. I still hear, up till last week, I heard people talking about her when they were in school, when she was at the hospital, and I know towards I'm not negatively. It is coming up to the anniversary of her passing, and coincidentally, I think is this Nurses Week or something?
Well, if it is, I know it's Teachers Month, Teachers Week, but for me, I feel there's always time to celebrate mothers, fathers, nurses, teachers. The world may set aside specific days or times, but we can celebrate them and talk about them anytime. Yep.
And so I just by me catching that last part of what you were saying, I really wanted to just take this time to recognize her, despite how the last years of her life may have been. I have not heard anyone recognize her as a young Caymanian who spent all of
tirelessly
the time she got out of school. I think she may have been 17 or 18, following her mom's footsteps. She went on to become a nurse. She was a mother of two, and she worked tirelessly through the schools. She moved from school to school. Then she was at the hospital. She was in an accident, an emergency, and we don't have as much Caymanians as we would like to have to say this about our Caymanians, except for the older ones, like some of the names that you mentioned, and some other people may bring up some other names. But as a young Caymanian, I haven't heard too many names that we can say. And I think it is lost that we cannot have that recognition simply for the fact because of other things that happened in life that was unfortunate and life events. But I just wanted to share that and just have her recognized and acknowledged. Nurse Marcia Hydes. She has a well-known, prominent family here in the Cayman Islands.
Yes, she does.
Caymanians, generational Caymanians, and she's actually related to me. And so I know how she has been instrumental in the nursing community and in the nursing area. And so I just wanted to take that time to recognize her for all that she did for our students. She was a mother. She was some of everything besides a nurse, And so I just wanted to take that time to recognize her. And just going back to what the last caller said and the previous caller before that, they brought up some very, very sensitive subjects that really need to be addressed, especially the busing and the transportation and driving on our roads. It's not a new conversation for us, but it just doesn't seem to be decreasing in any capacity of what's happening out there on the road. And I've noticed some of the government buses, that are driving the students. They're driving a little bit erratic in the traffic these days also. So
at what time? Is it in the mornings, afternoons, or both, caller?
I've seen it. I've seen it in the afternoons. I'm generally not out in the morning traffic like that. So I've seen it in the afternoons, one or two buses. And what I think, I've said this before, what I think needs to happen is that we need to have WhatsApp, cellular phone numbers pasted to all government vehicles. I'd like to see all businesses do the same thing. So if people see something, they can capture or take a license plate quickly or something, but they'll have a number to text in, WhatsApp in or something if they don't have any credit, and say, hey, I saw this vehicle driving this way, that way. They can describe the vehicle or whatever. And have these things be accounted for, because it's for a little small island, it's absolutely crazy. But I'm going to leave you with that, Miss Laura, so you can wrap up. And
thank you. Before you go, caller, I really want to thank you for calling in and remembering Marcia. She was connected, a very good friend of mine, so it's very emotional, but I knew you were going to mention her name. I didn't remember, but then if I had remembered, then I might have taken away what you would say. And we at Radio Cayman always appreciate all callers, but especially your contribution. I've been hearing you. Not sure that I can identify you, however, but we could talk off air. But yeah, I think I do. I definitely do once you said that. But thank you. And to your point, and your last point about the roads, I'll tell you what I do. But you're right. If someone doesn't have any credit or have enough minutes to call, we do need that special number to text into. I've always called. I will call. I will make a list. I'll take a picture of the license plate. Well, sometimes you can if you're at a stop. So we want to encourage good driving habits, right? So we can't really take it while we're driving. But definitely I share the same sentiments as you and other persons, but especially the last caller as it relates to road safety. Thank you for your call and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Caller, our next caller, welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon. You're on.
Good afternoon, Laura, Mario, Ebanks. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Ebanks. I do recognize your voice. I'm doing great. And how about you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for taking my call. And I didn't recognize who it was earlier, but after I listened for a little bit and I recognized the voice and the good job that you're doing. I don't know if you're the permanent new host or moderator or not. But
A guest host at this time, but God is in control, right?
Right. Yeah, but I hope that if you'll consider doing it on a permanent basis, if the offer is given, I think you'd be an excellent host and moderator, somebody who's involved in the community, very knowledgeable, very articulate, outstanding lady, and I think you'd be a great one. So I wish you the best with that. But what I called about, in addition to that, is to congratulate the West Bay Community Wellness Association for hosting the Ivan Farrington Cup recently. That finished on Sunday evening in the West Bay. It was a wonderful event, the whole tournament that they held. And I want to thank all of the members of the West Bay Community Wellness Association, all the volunteers, the sponsors. And I also want to congratulate Mount Pleasant, my boyhood and teenage homeland.
Sorry that I missed that game, but yeah, I actually attended a couple of Sundays ago. But yes, we do salute them and congratulate them on doing such a fantastic job.
Yeah, they won the cup, and then my current hometown Northwest Point was second. So I was torn between two teams, but both of them did so well. It was a wonderful final with overtime, two overtime sessions, and then penalties. I mean, it was a.
What was the final score?
Well, the final score at the end of the regular time was 2 each. But I think in the penalties section, I believe it was 4-1. I believe.
4-1. Wow.
They had 5 penalties, right? So I think it was either 5-1 or maybe they ended after.
I missed a great game.
At that point, it wasn't. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-mm.
But it was a nail biter, really. But it's such a good community spirit too, So I have a lot of other things to talk to you about. But I call another day that you're on and talk about those. But I just wanted to again thank you for the good job you're doing, and hopefully that you'll be there for, as somebody said earlier, be there much longer than just today. And again, just congratulate the West Bay folks for doing such a great job with the Ivan Farrington Cup at the West Bay Community Wellness Football League.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the call.
I'm humbled by your comments, and yes, congratulations to that West Bay Community Wellness. We hope that we will see that again soon. It has come to the end of our show for today. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, callers. Thank you, guests. It's been a wonderful day. Have a rest of good afternoon. Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman, for he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Have a good afternoon.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.